What's up guys, Zeo here from the FallenRedZeo, bringing you some more Power Rangers. This time we have the Lightning Collection, Green Ranger and Putty 2-pack, and then the Goldar, the GameStop exclusive. So I'm doing these together because I ordered them both from GameStop. They both arrived at the same time, so I'll just go ahead and throw them in a video here together. It's pretty cool. I love this Green Ranger and Putty 2-pack. It looks pretty cool. I love, of course, Tommy's my favorite character ever, so getting a version of him with the Green Ranger here is awesome. And then that they actually made a Putty, which, you know, not too many, at least more recent sets made Putties and stuff. So getting a Putty is pretty dang cool, so it's awesome that we got that. And then we got Goldar, which of course is always, like, at least look-wise, the coolest villain that there is just by his looks. It's so super cool. And it's awesome that we got him as well thrown in here. And of course, back when this went up, like months and months ago, I got it so fast because I'm like, I do not want to miss out on Goldar and everything. It just looks so cool. So that's pretty cool that we're able to get both of these packs. Pretty dang cool. Probably altogether one of the coolest sets ever for this. So let's go ahead and open these. But before we do, don't forget, if you like Power Rangers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show me how awesome you are. Let's get into them. Okay, so here they are out of the box. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the Green Ranger. We'll go ahead and move those two guys aside. But let's look at the Green Ranger first. So again, this reminds me a lot of the SH Figuarts figure, like just those stuff they include with it. That's one thing I noticed about with the White Ranger, and now the Green Ranger reminds me of that as well. Of course, some little differences, and as usual, it's made by Hasbro and stuff, and they don't have the best like paint jobs and everything. So I'll point out some of the issues with that and everything. But what reminds me of the SH Figuarts will be some of the accessories that we get here that I'll show in a second. But then the actual body design reminds me a lot of that SH Figuarts, just the way the like center of body is designed and everything reminds me a lot of that. But one of my unfortunate things I don't like about it is the head up here looks too fat and like stocky and stuff. He needs a little bit of a longer neck, I think, because the dragon shield here on his chest kind of, you know, takes up some of the room and stuff. Then the helmet looks a little bit too big, so it looks like it's, you know, like he's got no neck and stuff, so he looks very stocky up here at the top and everything. But beyond that, it looks pretty cool. Like I said, paint issues that we'll look at as we go through and everything. So again, we have the Green Ranger here in his Green Ranger costume as usual. So we have his helmet up here, of course, with the dragon design up top here, so you can see some of the lines they've added in throughout the years. That's continued on with this one, with the silver stripes, has the red diamond there at the top, then the mouth and stuff, and the teeth, and, you know, for the dragon, everything around the visor there, and just the normal Green Ranger helmet design there. Nothing too special beyond that. Then we have the dragon shield here on the top, of course, with like the big diamond and everything, and the shoulder pads and stripes and everything. Looks pretty cool. The paint's not the perfect, like it should be more gold. This is like a yellow. That's the problem with their gold. It's more of a yellow color. Like this is gold, so it should be closer to this, but it's, you can see the difference and stuff. But it still looks pretty cool. You know, underneath he has the diamond. You can see some paint issues on there, but thankfully the shield covers it up and everything. But of course, you know, that's usually like the normal Power Ranger design underneath there. Then we do have the armbands, a part of the whole dragon shield with the chest plates and the arm bands here. It's kind of like the extra shield and protection for him. Then, as with all the other Rangers, we have the gloves here, the white gloves with the green triangles on it. He has the belt with the morpher there on it with the dragon coin there, the like little toe thing or whatever is what I call it. Holster here for the dragon dagger. Then of course more green all the way down to the white boots that has the green triangles on it as well, with the gold band around the top. So nothing too really special. Like Power Rangers are pretty plain, you know, they're just all like their colors, so nothing too special about that. But from Wince though, so his head twists sides to the side and does nod a little bit, of course, with the shield and stuff. It can't move too much around in there. Then for the arms, so one thing cool about the movement, so it does have the butterfly joint on it, so it gives it a lot more movement in there and stuff, so you can see the part there. So it's got that, and then it can also twist around at the shoulder. The arm goes, you know, up to there, you know, can go a little bit over, I guess, the 90 degrees or whatever you call it, and then it can also twist around with the help of the butterfly joint, getting it around the shield there. Then we have a bicep twist, the double elbow joint, and then the wrist can obviously twist around and flex, and we have a grip hand in that side and a fist hand in the other. Then we go with the crunches, so we have a like an ab crunch and twist right under the chest there. As you can see, it has that one. Then it has an additional ab crunch to lower it down, and that's just a crunch. So it's, I like the additional, all the movement stuff in there, so you can get the figures in really good movement stuff, and you can even twist them all the way around with that twist up, the top twist and stuff, so that's pretty cool there. Then we got the legs, so they come out a little bit less than 90 degrees, it looks like, out to the side just a little bit, barely back at all. Thigh twist. Then we got a double knee joint twist right above the boot, and then the foot that can flex and twist side to side. So just a really great figure design overall. So some of the paint issues, as I mentioned, so on the gold here, you can see some of the gold came down onto the green, so that's kind of happened around on the boots and everything, especially here up on the armbands. They kind of went didn't get the paint fully done on the bands and stuff. Same with the gloves, you know, similar to the boots and stuff. Then we saw the paint under the chest. So everything's not perfect. There's some issue here on the helmet. I don't even know if you can see it, but it looks like some sort of paint issue there. So they don't do the best, but you know, if you don't look at them up close, you don't really notice it. And you know, from a distance, they look really great and stuff. That's just that up close stuff. So it's nothing too bad. Like, you know, this figure isn't ruined or anything, but it's just a little bit annoying with such a good figure. Can't be perfect. Then we get his accessories, which are pretty cool. So again, we get the unmasked head here. So we have Tommy's face, looks like Jason David Frank and everything there. Very similar to the White Ranger that we had, same sort of hair design, but the brown hair, of course, shaved sides of the head and stuff. Then you can see his face looks, like I said, very much like Jason David Frank and stuff. So that is pretty cool there for Tommy. Then we get some additional hands. So we have a hand here to hold the dragon dagger to look like he's playing it, and then we have just the flat hand, the leg stop hand, which the White Ranger came with that as well. Then we get his weapons, which he comes, of course, with the dragon dagger, as he has to have for the Green Ranger and stuff there. So he's got the dragon dagger that, of course, can play the music to some of the Dragon Zord and everything. So it's pretty cool. And then it can also go into the holster here on the side. And the last thing they threw in is the Sword of Darkness here, which is pretty cool that they included it. Again, they like to include this, which, I mean, it is a cool looking sword and stuff, so I understand why they do it. But, you know, he didn't have it very much throughout the show. He only had it, you know, early on, and it came back a little bit later and stuff, but it was only on a couple times. But it's pretty cool. And of course, we get the Hasbro effects that they're adding with all this stuff that I think is pretty cool. It's like, you know, a gummy is what I kind of call it, green color. It just goes over the top just to add more color. You just kind of slide it in there. I don't know if I have it on right or anything, but it just looks pretty dang cool going on there, which we can stick into his hand. So there we got the Sword of Darkness into his hand stuff. Looks pretty cool, especially with all the lightning effect on it and everything. Looks pretty cool. It matches well with the green and everything. So that looks pretty dang cool. And that is it for the Tommy. Then next up we have the Putty, which is again pretty cool because I've never had a Putty figure in an actual action figure type. So this is pretty cool to finally get one. It's not perfect, again, as usual. There are some issues with this, and then I have some issues with it myself, just personally. So here we'll look at the Putty. So there's a look at his face. Again, Putties are made of clay, and they're made by Finster, which was one of Rita's henchmen and everything. And so they're just some like very weak, low-level henchmen and everything. They start off kind of strong, but then as the season goes and stuff, they're super weak and everything. But there's a look at his face, so very weird face design there. Of course, it's supposed to look like clay and rock and everything. So it's got that, and I like the mouth design. Reminds me a lot of like Finster's mouth almost, but it's got that design. Looks like almost like a fish mouth or something with the red eyes there. Then he's in an all gray suit, has some of the stripes here, a belt on with the logo there. That's kind of like Rita's logo, I'd say, that match her more than anything. And I know in the next season in the second season they get like Z's on them for Zed and everything. So pretty cool that it has that belt on there with that just additional little star logo. And then it's got some darker gray boots down here at the bottom. And then as you can see, it's got rock hands. So since it's made of like clay and rock and stuff, has rock hands and stuff, and it can transform them into different weapons and stuff. So like it has a blade on its hand. But for movement, it's going to be pretty much the same as Tommy. So the head can twist and nod. It does have the butterfly joint, which you can easily see it there. And then the shoulder, you know, can move all the way around and all sorts of stuff. Bicep twist, double elbow joint. Then the hand is, I believe, should be able to twist because you can take the hands off and replace them. This is what my personal issue is with this. I cannot get the hands off. I can't get them to, oh, there it goes. I couldn't get them to twist at all. I felt like I was going to break it, and I can't really get them off, but probably I loosened whatever it was. Yeah, now it's gonna be able to come off for me. And I sat here and cranked and pulled on this thing forever, and it never came off. Of course, now it's on video and it does it. So issue fixed with that, and then I just loosened up this side as well, which it was, I feel, upside down, just the way the rock design looks like it should be that way, but it was upside down because it looks kind of like fingers and stuff on that side. So there it looks better there with the actual like blade on that side, so that's pretty cool for the sword arm. Then we have the same ab crunch, so the ab crunch that can also twist and go side to side and stuff. Then the additional lower ab crunch, which it's stiffer on the Putty, but it still moves there, so that's pretty cool. Again, same with the legs, so not 90 degrees, so not very good movements on the legs though. Thigh twist, double knee joint twist at the boots, and the foot can flex, but this foot's really stiff, and then it can also twist side to side. So since my personal issues are now fixed with the hands and stuff, and I can get them off and move and stuff, so it has some paint issues. Again, nothing too major. It's just some of the grays, you know, don't match up well together and stuff. It looks kind of dirty in parts and everything. And then like this one, the boot has a gap in between it, which isn't too bad. You mean, it's just a Putty. It's not a major figure, so I'm not too worried about it. And I have another set. I ordered 2 of these because I was impatient, so I ordered one from GameStop, and that's where this one came from. And I still have one from like Entertainment Earth or something. So I'll have 2 Putties, and then his foot here on the front is kind of like bent upwards, as you can see. So could possibly be for like posing or something. You know, it has a little bit of flex or some lift there. Of course, this leg's kind of stiff, so I can't get him in position. But you know, just kind of keeps his foot off the ground or something. something you can position that or whatever. So it just, this whole foot here is just kind of messed up and everything, but it doesn't ruin the whole figure or anything. Still looks pretty dang cool for the Putty here. Then we have more accessories for the Putty. So we got some additional hands. So we have more of an open like claw hand on this side. So obviously if you don't want to have the sword, you can replace that out. And then we also have the ball hand, so you can replace it. It looks like it's designed for this side, so you can replace that. So you have a sword and a ball on one side, or you could put it on this one if you want. You can switch it out, whatever you want to do, but it's got some extra hands there if you want to switch them out, give them more different designs. And then we have this ball thing, which I found out goes on the end. And if you saw the last episode, which I'll have at the link at the end, with the White Ranger and everything, it came with this, you know, Saba and stuff came with this thing, and I had no clue what it went with. I couldn't figure out how to like do anything with it. Well, then I saw people have pictures with it on there at the end, and then we looked at the actual ball and saw it had a little slit in it like this one, which I don't know if you can really see, kind of like the hole in there, and it just slides onto the end. It just adds an effect and everything. So I'm disappointed that none of you put that in the comments, because usually if I mess up something like that, I get, you know, tons of comments and no one mentioned it at all. So kind of disappointed about that, but I eventually figured it out and stuff. So it's pretty cool, and I guess I would never use it with that or anything, but I guess it's on there if you want to have that as well. So that's going to be it for the Putty. And last up is the Goldar, which is definitely the coolest figure out of this set to me, but it is just so cool and everything. So look at him up here. So again, Goldar's described as like a Manticore Griffin hybrid. So he's got the wings and everything. He has the tail with the spike on it back here in the back, and then the way his face designed. So Manticore is pretty much like a Sphinx, and then a Griffin is like a lion bird hybrid. So you can kind of see some of the designs thrown in here and stuff. And then of course he has more of the fur coming off the front with the spikes on the front there and everything. So you can kind of see some of the design. He's also been described as just like a flying monkey and stuff. So there's whatever you feel Goldar is, that's what he is. But this figure's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I was playing around with him loosening up the joints and stuff, and I feel I kind of shouldn't have done that, because now he's really loose and it's hard to get him to stand, especially with the wings on his back and everything. But let's look at him anyway. So here's a look at his face. So there's of course his blue face there with the red eyes, the teeth coming out of the front. He has the little gold thing on his butt chin there, and then I like his gold helmet and stuff. Again, it's more of a yellow color. Like on the sides here, it's got some gold, which he should be more of that, but they probably, you know, don't have a different version of gold to then fill in this spot, so they had to go with the yellowish color. It's like metallic yellow and then gold on those sort of parts. But the helmet always looks cool with the horns, and then this like fan design there around the top looks pretty cool. Has a spike there on the back, and then his hair coming down there at the back as well. But his head can move just a little bit, of course, with all the hair and stuff. It can't really move too much, and then nod just a little there. And then we got his arm movements, which can't move too much because of just his chest armor here, which is like a soft rubbery. As you can see, I'm kind of moving and stuff, so it's kind of like just a covering over the top. But his arms can move up a little bit and then, you know, move around with the shoulders there as much as they can within the covering of the shoulder armor there. So still pretty cool though. Bicep twist, double elbow joint, and then the hand can twist around and flex. He has 2 grip hands on each of these hands. Then he's got the 2 ab crunches, so he has the crunch right under his armor that you can't see. So it's got the crunch and then the twist there, which is one of the really weak joint and everything. So unfortunately it's kind of weak there. And then he also has the additional crunch there lower on, as you can see, kind of like the little stuff. It looks almost like it's just like muscles and stuff under there, so it's kind of like Zed where his like skin's taken off or something, but just the red and the weights design, that's kind of what it looks like. But yeah, it's real weak in here, so with the wings it kind of like pulls him backwards, unfortunately, as you can see that. So I have to kind of get him to lean forward and everything. Then we have the legs, that the legs move out. Again, the armor piece down here below is rubbery and stuff, so it just moves out of the way easily and everything, so nothing too special there. It comes closer to 90 degrees than the others, but it does also have a twist, but it's kind of like a ball joint up in there, so it does have what I call like the thigh twist, but it's higher up in there. Then we have the double knee joint, so you can see the red ball there for like the kneecap and stuff. Looks pretty cool. And again, more armor pieces down to his feet, where he's got the 2 toes in the front and then the 2 little claws there in the back as well. So that's pretty cool that he's got that, and it of course can twist around and flex and go side to side, so it's on a ball joint, so it has more movement than normal feet do. And then of course on the back here we have the wings, which were they were separate things, so they just kind of popped in, and they feel pretty cheap, like where the area here, the like ball joint and stuff, they feel like they can pop in and out pretty easily and stuff. With that, it just doesn't seem too sturdy and stuff, but as you can see, it does have the twist there, so you can pop it in and then get the wings to come out to the side. But again, they don't come out perfectly, and then they're still kind of flappy and stuff. So it's kind of like in the show when he'd walk around, the wings would just be flapping around and stuff, because obviously the cheapness of them. But I like the design overall. So they're all black feathers, and it has the blue highlights, and of course the gold upper parts here coming off with the spike has the green, which go into it, because you can see his armor, he's got the little green dots all over like jewels and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And the wings should also have a joint, which I'm kind of scared because, like I said, this is all like flimsy plastic, but they do have a little bit of movement so they can kind of close in a little bit, but I'll probably have to mess with that on my own because I'll have to be very careful getting those wings to do that. Let's see if this side will. So yeah, that side went in a little bit, so as you can see, it kind of folds out and then goes right in. So it doesn't fold up too much, but it just goes in just a little bit, so his wings aren't fully extended at all times. But yeah, so it's got that design there, which is pretty cool. The wings are always one of the cool things about Goldar, but on this figure, it just kind of is a detriment to him because it pulls him back and everything, so I have to just kind of keep him leaning forward a little bit. Then we have his accessory, so he's got like just an open, I call it like a choke hand or something, but just to be like an evil, like, I'm gonna get you, Power Rangers. And then he comes with a fist hand as well for this hand over here, so if you don't want to have two open hands, you can have fist hand and stuff. And then, of course, he comes with his sword, which I saw was labeled as the golden sword, but obviously it's silver, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it looked like in the show and stuff, but it's still a pretty cool looking sword here, so I like the all silver design. We can go ahead and take the purple off there, and you can see just the way it's designed and stuff. Looks almost like it's got vines and stuff wrapped around it, which is pretty cool. I always like this serrated parts here, so it's just, you know, like little saw blade and stuff, the red jewel, and then the actual sword blade itself. And then we have the purple effect here that just slides on. Again, I don't know how it's supposed to go on exactly, but it looks pretty cool there. And then we can obviously give it to him. So there we go. It looks like that kind of there with the sword on. And I saw the sword, like when I was reading about the sword and stuff, I saw that it can shoot flame blasts and fireballs, and one of them mentioned that the sword gets wrapped around in a blue flame, which unfortunately this is purple, but it gets wrapped around in blue flame, and then he slings it, and then they turn into like fireballs, I think is the one that it was. So I guess that's kind of what that could be, but again, just adds more effect, and it does look pretty cool. Like when you have that on, it looks pretty cool. I think the effects are cheesy, but when you actually put them on, like the swords and stuff, they look awesome. They just make everything look so much cooler and everything. So I'm glad they include them. It's just something new they're doing, and it just adds more details and everything to it. So that's pretty cool here for Goldar. So that's gonna be it for this Power Ranger Lightning Collection review with the Green Ranger and Putty 2-pack and the Goldar from GameStop. So this is pretty cool. Again, a Green Ranger getting one of my favorite characters and Tommy and stuff, then Goldar, my favorite villain, and then a Putty to go along with it. It's just pretty dang cool, and they all look awesome. Again, paint jobs aren't perfect in design and everything, but they still look pretty great. And then they're just killing it with this Lightning Collection. I absolutely love it. If you do too, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of each of these figures and which one's your favorite. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel to see more Power Ranger figure videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.